Hello.
Hi. Here, here she is, the star of the night.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hi. How are you too? First of all,
I'm doing well. Can I'm safe. This is the most important thing.
that's
I'm
good.
doing amazing.
Yeah, we're staying home. It's good.
Yay.
No, Animal Crossing has been a very good gateway to distract us from all this, obviously. Not to forget, but just to distract.
Hmm.
Well, daily routines that we do, what you guys recommend. I recommend playing games, but not everyone can afford a Switch, sadly. Um, so I would say start a new hobby. That would be nice. People can start learning something new.
Hmm.
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that actually, I wasn't sure to buy the game. Then I saw you so excited about it. I asked you something. I started watching videos, and I was like, maybe it can be the perfect game right now. And you were actually right because actually spending some hours on this game every day, it's how can I say a sort of I wouldn't say a medicine because a medicine usually is a cure for something that makes you feel bad, but it's something that makes you feel better,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. The thing is, I've connected more with the people now that I've played Animal Crossing. That's been really good. Um, I met a lot of people, new people, and I reconnected with old friends as well, that from England and from Japan. So that's the thing that I enjoyed a lot about Animal Crossing is it kind of revived those memories from people that we used to hang out IRL, like in real life, and then now we hang out in Animal Crossing. It's kind of silly to say it like that, but it's really nice. Um, that's how I feel about it. I always had a special relationship to the franchise. It's been
Hmm.
the previous one was really good for me as well, because it came when I moved to a country completely alone and I didn't know anyone, and I met people through it as well. So
Hmm.
it's kind of doing the same, but in a very better way, where I meet new friends and I connect them to old friends too. So that's my experience. Obviously, I actually had a an unfortunate situation with Animal Crossing because I had my old Switch and my new Switch, but I pre-ordered the game. I actually downloaded. I bought the game digitally because the pre-orders were not arriving, and I was playing on the old console, and then the new console arrived a few days later because of all the delays, and I lost my island on the old Switch. I mean, I didn't lose it. I could play it on the old Switch, but then I would have no use to the new one. And people were really nice. People came forward and came to my new island, brought stuff from the older one, and it's a very tedious process because I would have to switch on the old Switch. People come into my island, pick up my stuff, put it in their island, come back, pick up stuff, and then I would have to boot up the new Switch, and they would come in and drop everything. And I found out people are really nice, and that's what I liked about it. It brings out the best of people. That game, but that's it.
Yeah, it was more like when you have to move to another house in real life. That you have to go to the older house, then taking the stuff to the new house. It was kind of similar, more or less.
Yeah, it was kind of an. I had an experience of moving to Canada, but that was a bit easier. Well, kind of, but more expensive, but easier. This was just tedious. But people came forward and really helped me, and that made me realize that you have a lot of good people out there, um, on Twitch, on Twitter, on the Animal Crossing community. Is quite wholesome, to be fair. And that's what I knew it would bring out because on the old one, it was the same. People are really nice too. So yeah,
Hmm.
it made me really happy. It makes me really, really happy. Like this game.
Yeah, I also noticed that a lot of streamers, while they were streaming this game, were with a better mood than usual, you
Yeah,
know? I don't know if you noticed
happier.
the same thing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I noticed. There's a streamer I watch a lot at night. She's actually a fog whisperer. Her name is Meows,
Hmm.
and I know she's very positive. She's really happy in general. Um, and I noticed that she was like, "Ah, I'm gonna try this game, but just try it 1 or 2 days on stream, Animal Crossing." And she's been playing it nonstop. I see her come online all the time, and she really likes it. It's really cute, and it's nice to see. There's people with depression because, as you guys know, Twitch streamers are always confined at home. So this is kind of a natural way of being. But seeing the world being kind of mandatorily at home is a bit stressful because you think you have no way out now. And some people even say, "I wish I could get out more before." And now can get out. So
Yeah.
it kind of brings a bit of the confinement. Yeah, Luna said that to me as well.
Yes.
But you're not the only one who told me this, actually. A lot of people
Yeah.
told me this. And I was like, yeah, it's true. So this game has brought a bit of like the outside to the inside too, because it's outside, it's in an island. There's
Yeah.
bugs, there's fish, there's everything that you could do in real life, but you can't now, right now. And maybe it will inspire a lot of people in the future when all this passes through to go out more, to look more at the little things, to look at the sky and look at the flowers and look at the bugs and.
Yes. The museum.
Exactly. I think exactly the same. I was like, that's crazy because before I would like to stay home and I didn't want to go out, and now that I can, like, oh my god, I need to go out. I miss everything. Like I'm saying, once everything is like done, I've got to stay out all the time. There's no way I stay home.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god.
Well, you can still stay home. I think the main thing about this is we can realize how to appreciate the little things from now on.
Yeah, true.
Because a lot of people didn't appreciate that, didn't appreciate others as well. And now we appreciate the company of others much more than before. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
see it.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh, Funny thing,
Agree.
because I moved to Canada recently, I actually enrolled in a website called Meetups. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it.
No.
Do you
No.
know what it is, Jane? So basically, Meetups is a website where
Meetup. Okay, okay.
meetups, yeah, yeah, yeah. So you can meet people like for board games, for any common interest you have. It can be even a person who does embroidery, and there's a group for that, where people just hang out and they do crochet together. I don't know.
Yes.
So
It's really
cute.
funny. Yeah, it's really funny. They stop all the groups now, like all the meetups, but they are doing meetups online. They have a special discords for it. It's really cool, actually. And you can play Cards Against Humanity online, board games online, and it's all about laughing and, you know, just chilling. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I remember when I moved to Milan, I tried the same thing with Tinder, but it didn't go well.
Aw.
Yeah, but you know, I'm still alive. This is the most important thing. Actually, we were speaking about how this is keeping us busy, and I also noticed that a lot of people are discovering a sort of new talents in a certain sense. Because, for example, Linksy, she's an amazing streamer, friend of us.
Mhm. Mhm.
She's working a lot on pixel art. She's doing some really amazing jobs with it.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Or me myself, for example, I'm working on stuff I could never imagine I would work on. For example, by creating the new skins or new shirts or new flags and stuff like that. And
Yeah, you did a great job. This is all in Animal Crossing, for those of you who do not know, of course.
yeah,
Uh, you did a really good job. You nailed it on the Jane. outfit. I can't wait for you to have a Mabel sister so I can go buy your designs.
Yeah, I should place the shop after the stream because they gave me the stuff, but I have to choose the right place for it. Y-
I, I'm like
You know,
clapping
I'm
IRL. You know when you clap in Animal Crossing?
yeah,
Yeah,
it used to
yeah,
say
I
like
was
sound.
I was thinking of it.
I thought it was a sound legit. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, I always consider myself not so good at creative stuff, but on Animal Crossing I'm trying my best to try to enter in the mood. And it's, you know, because it's kind of similar to other games like Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon. Someone spoke about it.
The thing with Stardew Valley, it has its own story. It's very you can just play it alone. You don't need other people. With Animal Crossing, the experience completely changed when you play with other people because there's no story. You make the story.
Yeah, it's
So
true.
that's how I see it. That's why it's so good because everyone tries to be nice with each other and they bring together communities and people and they give stuff to each other. They trade either items or fruit or um, even recipes in the game. And that's the thing that's really, really nice about it. What I like the most to do is to send gifts, you know?
Hmm.
But because I have always the gates open, I can't send gifts, that's another one because you can't connect. So if you played Animal Crossing or not, when you have the gates open to receive people, you can't send gifts because it connects to the internet. And yeah, it can't multitask. That's something. But still, and I love fishing. That's the thing I like most about this game is I met people from Australia because of this game. I went to their
Yeah.
islands in the southern hemisphere. It's completely different. They have different fish, different items. It's crazy. And that's why it's so fun because you meet so many people, you see so many styles. Everyone decorates how they want. Like Stardew Valley is always the same, even if it's nice, you know.
Hmm.
Where Animal Crossing is depending on the island you visit. You never know what you're gonna get. That's the fun thing. Yeah, what Lavon said. That's what I like too.
Yeah, it's a more social experience. It's also nice to invite people to let them see what you did on your island or in your
Yeah.
house. I-
And also tell them if you want to catalog something, I can pick it up and you pick it up and then you can buy it after. I can send it to you. You can tell them what you like and then they send it to you from the store. It's really cute. This game is like the best thing ever. Sorry, I can't stop talking about it. Don't get me wrong, I love the Badilek. That's the game we all met.
Mhm.
I still like it a lot. However, I think I'm a bit tired because on the current situation, a lot of people are frustrated and angry and
Yes.
they're at home. So what happens is that game can be good because if you work in a team, you have fun with your friends. You know,
Yes.
that's a positive experience. But then you have the other side where it's a person playing alone at home, and
Yes.
all the frustrations are dumped into that situation. And it can be a bit daunting to see because you see a lot of dark sides to people that are playing this game. Even people who play alone, like Survivor, it doesn't have to be killer. I'm saying like there's two types of people who play Dead by Daylight. People who are just having fun, and even on either side. And then you have on the Survivor side, you have people who play for fun too, and then they're frustrated too, and they just want to like throw that frustration or that negativity on someone else. Of course, you're gonna have that in Animal Crossing too, but the game doesn't allow it as much. I don't know. I don't know what you guys have to say. Sorry, I'm talking a lot. I feel
No,
bad.
no, but it's okay. It's always interesting and enlightening hearing what you say.
Mm.
And yeah, we spoke about it off a stream too, and I really agree with you. Especially, I think that, the even for example, I think, or I don't know if you followed this kind of discussion about the game on
Mm.
Twitter, but people were upset with the devs because it's not a double point event, but
Ugh.
like 50% more blood points event, and people were upset because they wanted more blood points. So it's another kind of community. It's a community that I
That's
don't know
called entitlement, my friends.
exactly.
But that's like crazy because people can't really math though. Like, what's the difference? Like, listen up. Usually you have like double blood points, and it lasts like couple days. And then now they tell you that you're gonna have one, but 1 week. So basically, you're just getting more blood points. What are you mad about? It doesn't make
Yeah.
sense to me, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I don't know.
but also what I mean is it's not for the blood points themselves. It's
They
for
did.
the reason
It's
because
the
they
way
did
they
it.
address it. It's the way they address the situation. Because if they address the situation in a way that, for example, the devs say something here, have this, it's free, and people say, "Oh, I want more." I'm
Yeah.
like, "You already have this for free. Why do you want more? Are you being like Lightning said? You're being ungrateful." You know. And people are a bit entitled as well. They never planned for this situation. No one in the world ever planned for this situation to happen. So the fact that they're doing something to try and help people enjoy the bit more of the game and get a bit more out of it, it's really nice actually.
Yes, they are
And they
doing
don't
it
have to
from
do
their
that.
own. Yes, they are doing it from their own. They are still working on the game, you know.
Yeah, they're working from home. Like they're not lazy at home. They're working and they are keeping an eye on everyone. Um, and that's the thing. People don't understand that. People don't see that side. You go buy a game, like you buy Animal Crossing is not free, you know, and people are buying it
Mhm.
because they want to play it.
Yes.
Um, that's what we need to think. And there's a lot of cool devs that did a lot of cool things. They gave games for free. There's an Italian development team that released a game, I think a few months ago called Goat of Duty. And they're Italian. I don't know if you know that, Jane. And they actually um, made the game free now because you can play from home. You're home. You want to play games? It's like Unreal Tournament, but with goats. It's hilarious. For example,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. A tire gun. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. More or less in that kind of situation. Me do. I can't understand the sarcasm from a written chat, so I'm sorry if I didn't get it. I was honestly shocked when the new Viper Ghostface was able to come out. I wasn't sure that was gonna happen. Yeah, but I think that these things are kinda planned and they release it in a
Yeah, the
planned way.
skins and everything. They have a what's it called? A timeline. So
Yeah,
that was planned. Uh, However, the best way to address this situation is you have two sides of the coin here. You have a lot of people who are bored at home and frustrated, and they just want to scream at the internet all their frustrations. And then you have the other side, which people want to make everything better and just want to reunite with community. And the sad thing about this, the situation we're in at the moment, is that we can't unite as a community and fight it together. We actually have to stay apart from each other,
yeah,
like physically speaking. Usually in times of need and darkness and in times of struggle, people usually unite and they develop that sense of community where like we're in this together, we can fight it. In this situation is like stay the way from each other, don't stay together. So all the messages you get is you can't be with your friends, you can't do anything with your friends, you can't be with your family, you need to isolate yourself from the world.
yeah,
And that's where the internet is such a powerful tool because you can unite people without touching it, without hugging or having physical contact or eye contact. But even that you can have because you have cameras as well. You can have video call and you can look at each other and see each other, see the body language. Empathy is a very important thing. And yeah, I recommend people just talk to friends on Discord. You don't have to play games. You can just talk to them about your day. Have a call per day. It's nice.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and I think that that's why actually Animal Crossing works so well because it's what you do
Mm.
more or less because you know the in-game actions are a sort of routine, you know.
Yeah,
It's nothing really, how can I
like out of
say,
the ordinary.
yes, and you don't have to be focused on what you're doing on the game, so you can just speak with the people who are in your island, sharing what you did during your day and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Exactly, lightning. That's true. I agree with you.
Same.
Yeah, try to imagine this kind of situation like 20 or 30 years ago. I think it would be a disaster.
But
Oh
it
my
happened
god.
though. It happened though. You had the which one was it?
H1
Yeah. H1.
N1 or
Yeah, you
something.
had this already, but it
Yeah, this
wasn't
is the
as.
porcine one, the pork stuff.
Yeah, you already had that, and it was tough because the internet was not as free or widespread.
Mhm.
So what happened is that these times the community would be local, even if they all got infected, they strive together.
Yeah, I got no friends and don't leave the house. The situation hasn't changed my life at
Well, I wonder why. I'm sorry.
all.
I mean, it's up to you if you want to make friends. It doesn't have to be physically. But if you're a nice person and you have a bit of empathy and you don't come with guns blazing, being a bit of a troll, you'll make friends easily. Trust me. We're not that hard to be friends with. Usually, people aren't that hard to be friends with. I mean, people can have humor and be sarcastic, but it takes time. You need to get to know them.
It's okay.
Fair.
It's
Fair.
okay.
It must be a happy existence, though. I understand. It's okay.
This is sarcasm too, I think.
This was sarcasm, exactly. Sarcasm. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm very savage. So
No,
there you go. You're not the only sarcastic person here.
people disappoint. You know, jokes aside, you have to try to find the right people, but at the same time, you have to have the right attitude. Because if you don't trust anyone, it's hard for other people actually be able to trust you or to be kind with you, you know. So if you
Exactly. So
if you put us,
it,
hmm
effort. You have to put effort as well. Just doesn't come one way.
yeah, if you put a sort of armor and you are always defensive, or even worse, if you have always a sword because you think you have to defend yourself from other people, it's really hard for whoever you have in front of you to be able to be friendly, you know. So yeah, I can understand it. I had a similar period too during the last weeks. Well, not the last weeks, the weeks before coronavirus started spreading out. But it was for actually for other kind of reason. And but yeah, it, I was closed in myself because I was choosing to be closed. But actually, as Denise said, we have to be the first one to make the first step towards other people.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Like, to be honest, I have a very like hard time analyzing stuff like that because I'm myself like it doesn't look like and it doesn't show, but I was like very introverted and I was used to not have many friends at all, like just a loner, you know.
Hmm.
But everything really changed once you take a step forward. Like I don't know how to explain. we always tend to sit there and complain how you can trust people, how everyone is like disappointing you, like you said and stuff. But don't you guys think sometimes we're just like kind of putting all the barriers and obstacles in our heads and overthinking shit, and like like at the end of the day we are the ones responsible for our actions. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, but I want to reply to Tired Tyragon. That can happen because not everyone, of course, is nice and everything. But when this happens, actually, you have to think that the person who's losing someone is the other one. And if they mess up with you, it's okay. You understood that that person is not nice. You move on and you
Yeah,
share your
it's their
kindness with
loss.
other people.
It's their loss. That's how you have to see it.
I I already explained you how to deal with this kind of person because we spoke about this situation of stream 2. And this is my best suggestion for you. And I think that once you will be able to understand that the main problem wasn't you be kind with this person, but their attitude that actually, okay, it gave you a bad time, a bad moment, or even a bad week. But after that, you know what? Who cares? There are a lot of other persons who are more friendly to you, who are able to appreciate you, and you'll be happier with this new person.
Yeah, don't regret being
Exactly.
kind. Oh, sorry, go
Just
on,
live
continue.
your life like if you look always behind, you're never gonna like move on, with shit like
To be fair, trying to make friends when transitioning is harder than you think. Yes and no. And I'll explain you why. Because actually, it's like you meet the real friends, the real person who are able to understand and appreciate your real self. Because
Okay.
for example, I didn't have a lot of problems with my friends because when I said it to my friends, they were like, "Okay, nothing will change with us for us because we know that you'll still like video games, that we'll still be able to speak with you about the same things, so doesn't change really anything for us." So I was lucky about that, but also I was able to meet new friendly people and in LGBTQ groups. So what you said, Mido, is real for certain things, but also not necessarily true. It depends by the situation, by the way.
Everything is depending on situation, to be fair. But
Yeah.
what you can take from this is you can take the opportunity to self-analyze your like do a self-introspection. I think it's important to think about the things we can improve about ourselves, think about the things we can improve around our world. Um, and the best is to think that if people don't accept you as you are,
Hmm.
regardless of what you're going through, they don't deserve you. That's it,
Exactly.
and they are missing out, and that's it. If it doesn't matter if you're transitioning, it doesn't matter if you're not transitioning. Everyone is going through something, and it's not pain is not measurable. It's how do you say, it's subjective. So each
Yes.
people have their own pain going through, people have struggles, every all of us. It's not, there's no such thing as a normal person. We all normal, we just go through a lot of shit, all of us. Sorry if I can I curse, I don't know. Sorry about that. But we go through a lot of struggles in our daily lives mentally. Nobody's normal. Exactly, what is normal? I don't know what that definition even is, because deep down inside we all have our own darkness. And what we need to think about is how can we live with ourselves and love ourselves with our own darkness and our own struggles, and how can you how can you what's the word I'm looking for? You need to love yourself in order for others to also love you, because if you don't love yourself, what's going to happen with that is people will not empathize, you know.
Yes.
If you have a lot of self-hatred, people will be disconnected from that and feel very hostile towards you because you're hostile towards yourself. That's basic psychology, you know. um,
Yes.
But what you can use with this advantage with friends online, that you said they are different. Yes, they can be different, but not really. The good thing about the online friends is you can be friends with someone on the other side of the world and there's no restrictions, you know? And that's the
Hmm.
beauty of it, is everyone is connected deep down inside. Where if we didn't have internet, um
I don't know if Mido meant that online friends are different because it's easier to find friends on internet while
true, that's true as well,
transitioning,
maybe.
while in real life is harder to find friends while transitioning. But actually, what I was speaking about my in real life friends
Yeah, yeah, I know. I'm just
because.
saying like in general.
Mhm. No, I wanted to make him understand that I was already speaking about the in real life friends. That I don't want to speak about in real life friends because it's something that every time I say with Denise, Luna, and the other ones. Because speaking about in real life friends makes me think like, okay, so online friends are not real, but I don't think so. I think that online friends are real as the people you personally met during your ordinary life. I prefer to choose the word ordinary than in real life
Hmm.
because I mean, Denise is a real friend of mine. I think that I'm really open with her. I'm my real self with her. The only difference is that we don't see each other all the time when we speak, but we could actually activate the cam to do that. So, uh, yeah, yeah, I got that his point is or her. I never asked you.
they
No, you,
they
they.
I'm gonna
Okay.
say they, just to
Uh,
not assume, obviously.
yeah,
That's true, Meadow. But it's all also about how you open yourself to her. Okay, so it's how you open yourself to others as well. Um, I mean, I'm always myself, so I can only talk about my own experience because I can't talk about being on someone else's skin. I can empathize, I can understand, but I can't be them. That's the hardest part. But for myself, what I do, I try to be always myself and be super honest and transparent to with who I am towards all my friends and people I meet all over. And whoever likes that will like me. That's it, you know? And I'll like them because I'm super easy to please, to be fair. Um, you know, but I can be super difficult too because I'm really honest with everyone around me. And I communicate a lot, and sometimes I can be harsh, you know, but that's a good I think my definition of a good friend is someone who can love you but be also very honest with you. And I think that's a thing that lacks a lot sometimes online, because there's no, not for written text, it's very hard to express emotion, so it's hard to say honesty or true things without being a bit hurtful, or it seems like it's hurtful, you know. But yeah, I don't know. That's why emotes are so nice. So, you know.
yeah, and this is something
Dragon.
That's
this,
something that actually happened a lot to me and Jane. Sometimes, like we say stuff, but because we're not seeing our face expressions IRL, then we it feels like it's aggressive or something. Like we have an argument that we just like not understanding each other's very well because we didn't meet at all. Like we don't know. And it turns out it's just innocent. We're just being genuine, but it turns out it comes out quite bad.
Yeah, it's something that happened sometimes with Dennis too.
No, it can happen with anyone. Actually, real friendships are not perfect.
Yeah.
They'll always have awkward moments, situations where you butt your heads, and that's
Mhm.
okay. That's not the end of the world. The trick is a good friendship survives all that without being spiteful or angry, you know?
Mhm.
Holding grudges and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's,
Yeah.
thank you. That's the word I was looking for. But that's how I see it, you know?
Yeah. Also, one of the thing Denise spoke about being honest. One of the thing I love about both these girls is that they are always honest with you, even if they have to slap your beauty. They have no problems at telling it to you. So yeah, you can be a honest, real friend even if you meet someone online. Also, for example, because actually it sounds like meeting someone online is not something real, but a lot of people I met online
Yeah.
during my PlayStation MVP experience became real people when I started to work.
Mm.
So these are never just some avatars or some online characters, some video game characters or stuff like that. There are always real person behind the screen. So it doesn't change the fact that you met the first time the person online or
Sorry, I
or at
think I muted it
school
by
at
accident. Sorry.
yeah, or at school,
Sorry.
at the university, or at work. It doesn't change. It's still a real person. So
Mm. No,
don't.
I know, but sometimes it'd be confusing talking on the forums because I come from the forums too on PlayStation, and sometimes it would happen to me that I would be like, they change the avatar, but it's the same name, and then it's the person because I use the community manager, so it's a bit harder to, um, memorize everyone one by one, you know,
Mhm,
um, and the people who are more lurky, it's hard to get to know them better because they don't talk, so you don't know much about them. Does that make
mhm,
sense? Not that it's a bad thing. Like in forums, anywhere, you have a lot of people just lurk and just observe and like to analyze on themselves. But if they don't talk or don't express themselves, then it's hard to get to know them, you know? Um, and I think that happened to me a lot when I was working in the forums, is that it was tough for me to get to know everyone who didn't talk. I tried, but it's really hard. But it was really fun. It was a really fun experience. The PlayStation forums was actually the first time I was proper online. Did you know that, Jane?
No, I thought you had a longer experience online, but now I
No,
know
not
it.
much. Yeah, not much. Just lurking.
Yeah, it was the same more or less for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I used to just watch the forums and read about stuff and then just play games. And when I started working in the video game industry, that's when I got more involved in the communities and talking more. I used to be just a lurker on Twitch. I had my account since 2004. Let me see. We are in 2020, 2015, I think, or longer. And I didn't talk until 3 years ago, you know?
Mm-hmm. I know
So
now. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
I have a question.
yeah.
tell me,
Okay, so what made you being the person who talks and not a lurker? Like, I mean, you're still lurking, but
what
like,
was the switch?
yeah.
Um, I was sick at home and unemployed, and I felt very lonely. So I couldn't walk at the time as well when it happened.
Mhm.
So yeah, and then I thought I'm a bit lonely. I need to talk to people because I used to talk to people in the office. I used to go out for drinks with friends. I was a very social person, going out and do everything. And then one year, I after Christmas, I tried to get up of bed, but I couldn't because I was in a lot of pain.
Oh
And that
God, yeah.
lasted for like 6 or 7 months. I couldn't walk. I would walk with crutches, but it was really hard. And it still is sometimes because I have the condition I have with my joints. They're degrading. So I felt the need to be again the person I was in the office, but online, you know?
Okay, yeah, I get you.
Yeah, that was the switch for me because I thought I want to be the person, you know. I used to lurk just for because I was working at the same time and then watch people, you know, just as a background. And I knew them a lot about them. I knew a lot about them. I observe a lot of information as well. I pay a lot of attention to details and to, you know, emotions. And when people saw me talking, they're like, who the hell are you? You know? And I'm like, well, I've been a follower for a long time. I just don't talk, but I pay a lot of attention. So,
You
yeah,
already knew who was everyone, but no one was had
knew who I
any
Yeah.
was.
idea about you.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, you spoke about the PlayStation Forum. I don't know how is it for Portugal community, but especially
Mm.
during this last year, for the PlayStation Italian community, is like they started meeting each other in real life. They every year during Milan Games Week they found each other. They go out for dinner. They meet each
That's
other. So
nice.
you know they started as avatar or online charter, but now they know each other. They know who's the real person. They speak with the real person behind these screens. You know, they are, how I said before, they are real friends. They were online friends, but they have always been real friends. Now they can see each other too. So never be like, okay, an online friend is just an online friend, but try to understand that someone you met online for the first time can be a real big in real life friend too. One of my biggest friends and Italian friends is actually someone I met online for the first time, and I speak with this person like every day about everything. And
Mm.
I met her a lot of time in real life. So when she lived in Rome, when she lived in Milan, so you know,
Mm.
everyone is real behind the screen. The fact that you don't see the face every day doesn't mean that you are not speaking with a real person.
Yeah, but it's easier to connect when you put a face to the avatar or to the voice. So you put a voice to the person. It's easier. It becomes more because as human beings, we are used to connect through visual and, you know, sound. So that's
Yes,
how we communicate. So typing is a completely new um, way of communication. It's very brand new. Well, we always written in the past books,
hmm,
and of course, we always had written form to express thoughts, but to truly communicate and connect with people, this is actually new. And I think this situation that we're going through will um, intensify that need to connect, you know?
yes. There's a thing that every kind of communications student knows, and that there are three levels of speaking, of communicating, sorry. And actually, only the 7% of the message of the when you speak with someone is possible to understand the message only for the 7% only from the words,
Mm.
while the rest of the communication is based on the I don't
Body.
know. Yeah, for example, the 15%, 55% from the not verbal, not spoken language. So, for example, how you move your face while you speak, how is your body while you're speaking, gestures and stuff like that.
Mm.
And also the third. The 38% is related to how is it your voice while you're speaking. So if you are speaking slowly, if you are speaking fast, you know. So what Denise said is actually correct. That
Mm.
the written message is important. It's really nice because it's really fast to communicate with someone with the written messages, but at the same time, there are a lot of other things you're losing if you're not speaking with your voice or showing your face.
Mm.
But you know,
Exactly.
it's a nice starting point because
No, it is really nice.
you start with speaking of just video games or passions, and then you become a real friend.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I see it too.
Yeah, but that's a really
Neto.
it's a really situational thing. I mean,
I actually have
it's
friends with Tourette's, but yeah. The thing is, if the person when you meet them, and they say, "Oh, hi, I'm person X, and I have Tourette's," then you just expect that it's gonna happen. Um, I don't know.
yeah. I'm sorry
I
about
just
that, but you know, it's what actually sucks about that physical situation. You know,
no, but the key is communication.
it does. Yeah, you can still communicate. You can still communicate. It doesn't mean that
Hmm.
if you are not able to,
Read their body language. Of course, you are able to
exactly.
read anyone's body language. That's not only the Tourette's has the ticks, but you can read the body language and you can tell between the ticks the person's intent and the tone.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
On.
it's not a common situation, of course. So people, when they are faced with an uncommon situation, they react with some apprehensiveness, of course. But that doesn't mean that they're gonna judge the person or feel like the person is not you know, he doesn't have a normal body language,
Yeah.
Everyone has their own body language.
If even people who suffer situations like full blindness
Yeah, exactly.
and they are deaf can communicate. Uh,
I'm pretty sure, yeah, you can communicate with people with threats, obviously, because everyone is able to communicate as long as they make the effort towards it. If you don't make the effort, that's when it makes it harder. Obviously, there are people who cannot communicate properly, and due to mental health issues,
yeah,
and that's tough and it's really hard. That's why it's very important to always seek professional help to help you express yourself in the best way you can, you know, because just leaving alone and trying alone is not easy.
yeah.
I don't know.
The,
That's
the
how I
important
see it.
the important thing is being open to listen to the other person. So you know even with being fully able to communicate to the other person because you know you are fully elf and all this stuff, it can happen to have some misunderstanding. But you can actually solve this if you are really want to listen to the other person, and so you can actually fix what are your physical limits or you know every kind of limits you have if you are able to if you are open to the other person and if you are able to listen them.
Exactly. What you have to say, Luna, about this?
I don't know a lot about this subject because I don't have around me that has this kind of physical thing, but yeah, I'm not at that stage, so I rather not like say something about it because I don't know what I'm talking about. So yeah.
Yeah, also we say these things about seeing each other and other stuff, but at the same time we are still communicating with the written messages, you know. People still communicate with this. So
Mm.
even if all the other aspects are every day not present, we are still able to communicate. The important thing
Yeah.
is trying to as we said, trying to be open and try to go over the physical limits or the limits of the technologies we are using to communicate with the other person. It's very little. I like it. It's yeah, but we are not actually doctors, you know. So
Yeah, we never said that we are experts or we know everything. We're just saying that according to our own personal experiences, we are just showing you what we think about it. If you agree or not, that's not my, you know, I don't feel bad about it. But yeah, I don't know what's the point of bringing out the experience or non experience if you're not implying. But yeah, I don't know. We can just move on. So
Yeah.
Jane, tell me
yeah,
all about your town in Animal Crossing. I want to know.
yeah. Coming back to Animal Crossing, well, I think that my town is actually a forest because I have a ton of trees around, and you have to help me to understand how I can fix this situation because
Wait, what happened?
I feel like I have too many trees and I don't know where to place stuff. Where to put stuff, sorry. So like new houses, new even just good looking stuff, you know. And
Mm.
I feel like okay, but if I remove this tree, I lose some fruit. So what should I do now?
You can shovel them out. I don't know if you know that. If you eat the fruit, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
and you
yeah. You
grab your
explained it
shovel, you can
to me.
shovel your tree. So you can keep it still. You just need to plant it. So what I usually do, I eat like 10 fruits and I keep 10 on my inventory. And then I take 10 trees and then, but of the same. So I try the ones where I flourished first, like the apples, for example. They're all out. And then I put them in the corner so I can make an apple orchard, you know? And so on and so forth. So it's kind of like organization. I'm very OCD, so I try to organize everything. Not as OCD as Paige, by the way. The chat. She's a bit worse than me. She organizes all the flowers by color scheme, so that's really good. You should see it. It's crazy. Um,
Yeah, but you know, when I saw your islands, Page Island, your island, or Linksy Island in our stream, I was like, oh my god, they are so well organized about that. And I have no idea how to fix my situation because
Boy,
because my island is like a big forest with three houses around. It looks like I don't know the red forest of Dead by Daylight. It's so full of trees around, and then that big house at the center of the map.
we need
And
to understand people who like to organize their islands in Animal Crossing. They have OCD problems. I'm sorry, it's how it is. Not to dish on it, not to that bash it. It's true. I'm OCD as well. Like I have to have everything organized, otherwise I'll freak out. Everything has to make sense.
yeah,
Uh,
I'm like I like to be organized, but at the same time I enjoy a bit of chaos too because it makes something a bit more, you know, you have to explore and to find,
Creative.
yeah, there's something new, a sort of adventure every time. But at the same time, for example, in my house, I feel like it's really basic. Everything is really basic. Crazy interest, like.
My God. What you can do, you can get all the trees. You can get all the trees you want, and then what we can do, we can bring you all the fruit, and then you just replant it. You make holes on the floor to plant it.
Yeah, I don't know if actually like cutting off all the trees that don't have fruit and
No,
replacing
we can
these
cut.
with
You should cut them all, and then you can buy. You can even buy the. You don't have to call the sapling. You know, you
yeah.
don't lose them forever. They'll come back if you plant the because you can buy it in the shop. There's something called a sapling. Actually, let me check.
Uh-huh.
I'm not playing Animal
Yes.
Crossing at all. Kind of. No, let me see. I'll for you. Wait. But what you can do is if you go to the Nook's Granny's shop, if you check his cabinet on the left side,
Yeah, there is
there is
sample.
the cedar and there is the sapling. So cedar
uh,
is the one that is dark, like the you know
the
the
hardwood
forest
trees.
type one. Yeah, the
Okay.
forest type one, and this normal sapling is just normal trees. So you can get that after. If you want to reduce the amount of trees you have, you can do it. You just need to cut it all, basically. Gather all the fruits you have,
Hmm.
and then you cut it all. Easy,
Yeah.
you know?
Also, I keep finding the points to have the money trees, and so I have to place other monies in the island. So I'm becoming a big forest more than a town.
Wait, what? Sorry. So you've been shoveling trees from other islands?
No,
The
no, I found other points, you know, when you find the bags of money in the floor.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, they're good.
I keep finding these points, and so I have also money trees now.
Yeah.
And
Okay, so you need to wait for them to grow, basically. But you don't have to cut them because they're not fully grown. So that's the thing. They don't keep growing. They just grow once, you know? The money doesn't keep growing. I don't know if you know that.
it
Or
works only one time.
yeah, that would be
Okay,
so powerful.
yeah. But considering we are speaking about fruit, I read something about the perfect fruit. What is that?
Ooh, the perfect fruit. I don't know. They brought that back. I'm not sure with this game.
I,
Brought
I,
it back actually.
I think yes, someone spoke about it in a chat. I don't remember if it was your chat or maybe Lynx's chat. I don't remember.
I
But
don't know actually, but what we used to do is the perfect fruit is RNG.
mhm.
But it's basically when you harvest a tree a few account amounts of times, and it has to be on a perfect location, and then you get the perfect fruit. But I can check actually, because now I don't remember. Perfect fruits on Animal Crossing, but yeah, there's a lot of little things like you can farm tarantulas. Hi Paige, I'm looking at you. Sorry. Because she's like, I'm gonna make a tarantula farm. There you go. 2 hours later, she gets uh she
Page
gets like a quarter of a million, and I'm like, okay, nice. So half a million. I'm like, cool, nice.
Page's character is too cute.
No, she's really nice. I don't know what you mean. You know. Uh,
However, it looks like the perfect fruit still exists.
ooh, nice. Okay.
Still unconfirmed while whether or not it'll eventually offer perfect fruit, there is still a whole new way to collect. Okay. No, so they did a full article how to get the perfect fruit in Animal Crossing, but at the same
Hmm.
time they said we don't know if there is a perfect fruit in the game. Okay.
Oh, in this game, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's kind of fun because they wrote an article with the title "How to Get Perfect Fruit in Animal Crossing New Horizons," but in the article you find like we don't know if the perfect fruit actually exists. So okay,
Because they might have not brought it back. So this is the thing. I think Nintendo is doing a whole generation back to keep people hooked to the game. Because if they release everything now, imagine if you could time travel to Christmas and you could just see the events by yourself.
yeah,
That would be super. You
boring.
know, not even boring. It's just the game. You get bored of the game, or you would complete
Yeah,
because hello hoarders, you would complete the game before even you got to the event.
yeah,
And there's people who already almost have everything like 9 days. Uh, so that's crazy if you think about it.
yeah,
The amount of the fandom of this game is crazy. A lot of geeks, a lot of nerds that like to farm a lot of things. For example, me, I'm a hoarder. I like to have all the furniture, all the clothes and stuff, and it's really really hard. But
yeah.
that's why I like it.
I noticed that all of you are perfect players of this game.
Oh, no,
Like,
not perfect
uh,
players. There's no such a thing as a perfect player. You play as you want.
yeah, but you look so. How can I say? The right word was actually really nerd with it. You
Oh,
have
nerdy, yeah.
yeah, you have everything ordered. You have everything in the right place. You
Catalog?
know.
Did you
Yeah.
catalog it? Yeah, exactly.
You have like a full town in like 10 days. How many days?
Well,
It
it's
was.
called time traveling.
Yeah, while I feel like, okay, they want to see my island, but I still need the Mabel sister shop.
Yeah, it's okay though. We don't want to see it to be competitive about it. There are people who are competitive about the game, but the game is not about being competitive at all. It's actually the opposite. It's about sharing and about being like, oh, do you like this dress? I'll give it to you, or I'll put it on the floor. You pick it up, gets in your inventory or in your catalog, and you can buy it later. For example, that's the spirit of the game. The game is to share things with friends,
Mm,
not to be like, oh, I have more shit than you. I'm better than you. That's not the right mindset at all. Like no one. This game doesn't. That's the beauty of it. You make its own story. It doesn't have
yes.
a lore. There is a certain lore to it, like Nook and the main characters, but you make your own story. And whether you want to make your own island, an island where people come and play games with each other, like I saw the other day on Reddit, someone made a musical chairs with it, like on an island,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
So they would go around. There was like I think they started with seven, and then they would move to the other side of the island where it was like six left, and then five left. It's really funny, and then the prize is 10,000 bells. But people don't do it for the money. They do it just because of the mindless fun, because it's
Hmm.
silly.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what I like about this game. This game is so open to your own interpretation of what you want to do with it. It's your own personality applied to it. It's just perfect. That's why I like it so much. I've been talking about the New Horizons, since I first knew it was going to get released. So this was like 3 years ago. I haven't stopped talking about it. I even had a counter on my stream. Yeah, a lot of people say, "Oh, AC, is it Animal Crossing? Is it Assassin's Creed?" I'm like, "No, is it air conditioning?" And I'm like, "No, it's Animal Crossing."
Air
And
conditioning
yeah.
is bad. Is wonderful. Is amazing. You have to have a
It
lot
is.
of fantasy for it.
No, I know. A lot of people are like, Denise, are you waiting for a year and a half for air conditioner? Why didn't you buy it now? And I'm like, and I would go along with him, like, because now it's cold, When it gets warmer, maybe I'll buy.
Yeah.
I'll be like, no. It was all about Animal Crossing. I was, I don't know. First time I saw the Nintendo Direct about it, I actually cried because I was like, oh my god, this game is coming out.
I imagine your face when they just debated it by showing Fufi. Well, not Fufi. Fufi is the Italian name of Isabel
Oh yeah.
in Smash Bros. That
Oh no no no,
everyone
that
was
wasn't
like,
like.
they're announcing it, and then Isabel will join the fighters in Smash Bros.
That was such a troll moment. I was like, why Nintendo?
I wanted
But
to see your face in that moment.
my face is like, fuck you, Nintendo. Not that I have anything against Smash Bros. It's actually a fun game, but I'm more of a person who likes non-competitive games.
Yeah,
And
this is
that
why
brings
you
us back a
play
bit.
DBD.
No, that's what I was gonna say. It brings us back a bit to DBD. I don't think DBD is a competitive game. To be fair, that's my opinion. You know?
Me neither.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
was
I fully
talking
agree.
with someone the other day. It was like telling me how he was playing DPD and stuff, and I was like, "How though? That's a great game." Oh yes, but I have a team and I do tournaments.
Sorry.
Okay. Like I was like very monka, so I was like, okay, I
No, but
see the
it's
type of person
okay.
you are.
No, but it's okay to see it competitively too. I'm not saying I shouldn't.
No, yes, but like this is so like
Face.
come on. It's not like you need a special skill to play DVD. Like
What do
let's
you
be
mean? Juking like a blendette is a skill.
uh-huh.
No, I'm being sarcastic, by the way.
Staying,
Yeah.
staying hidden in the basement till the hatch spawn and the easy win.
Oh god.
Exactly. Easy, GG, easy, baby. No, I'm. But the thing you need to think about, people are allowed to see competitiveness. It's we have a competitive nature. We shouldn't
Hmm.
try to shut that off, to be fair.
Yeah.
But we need to be healthy about it. And I think what happens a lot is people are not healthy about it a lot of the
Yeah.
times, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen that happen. And it's kind of sad because, when you see especially friends being so immersed into something that it shouldn't frustrate them, but it actually should make them happy, you know? I had a
Hmm.
lot of friends that are completely burned out, and it's crazy. And it's not because they don't like the competitiveness, it's just the community is so divided. And what divides it is because some people think their opinion is better than others, and I think we should just see it, my opinion is mine, yours is yours. I'll respect, and that's it, each one to their own, and you don't have to fight about it. That's how I am. I can't expect people to be like me, to be fair, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, but
the
that's like
I.
killer survivor mindset are very childish. Like, you know, when people like start arguing about being killer mains or survivor mains, that's making me very cringe.
I mean, yeah, it's just silly. Like, funny, and I used to be more survivor man, but I'm enjoying more killer now. So yeah, but
Yeah,
not that you know, it doesn't matter if you have fun. It doesn't matter which side you play, as long as you have fun and you're not hurting anyone, right?
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, the fun thing is when they are like, oh, but did you ever play Survivor when you, for example, protect a nuke during a game? Do you ever play Survivor? Because you should give us a chance to a nuke our friend. And I would like, to be fair, I only played Survivor on PC till the last month because I finally were able to play with mouse and keyboard on DBD.
Mm.
So yeah, I kinda know how is it to play Survivor. But I enjoy both sides. I have to be honest, I enjoyed a bit more Killer 2 during the last period, but at the same time I also figured out because why it's so frustrating for some Killer mains to play Killer.
Tell
Because
me, tell me, tell me.
for example, I chose to main the Deathslinger that everyone thinks is a really OP character and really boring to face, but honestly, he has a really bad map pressure, probably the worst map pressure of all the killers with
Mm,
Huntress. And even if you're able to have like 20 seconds chases, you are not rewarded enough. Well,
mm,
people who only pressed M1 on the generator are able to escape and to write you shit things in a game chat. So I can understand why sometimes they are frustrated, or sometimes they play really sweaty because actually the games I were able to win were the ones where I tried to play a bit more sweaty, so with some slugging and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to speak about this game.
mm. Why?
Yeah, Killer is just way more stressful to play as, in my opinion. Yeah,
I
depends
think
on.
I think nowadays both sides. To be fair, I
It
find killer very
depends.
Yes,
fun.
especially if you are a lone survivor. If you are a lone survivor, it can be really tiring too. But
No, I play with friends, but the thing is, I just I don't know. I find Survivor so like it's repetitive,
yeah,
and then you have people who assume that I'm toxic, so they're gonna be like super salty in the post game chat, and I don't understand because my problem is how they communicate in this game. It's not about the game itself.
yeah,
I have no problem how people play the game. I just like GG and move on. I'm like that. You know me. I'm very like okay, but it's the whole approach is like people I have once I actually gave myself to a killer because he killed the Saul. He didn't kill the Saul. He let two people escaped, and I'm like in the end I was like okay, just take me. And then in the end it's like he started he or she, I don't know, they started like calling me names and stuff. I'm like, why are you being so angry? Are you not okay with someone being kind to you? And he's like, oh, I don't want PD kills. I'm like, fair, that's okay, but that doesn't mean I'm a bad person because I gave you that PD kill, you know? I don't deserve to be called names because I gave you that.
Yeah, I think that the problem is, it's uh, like when you find a negative situation, you think that all the other situations will be as negative as the one you already
Exactly,
live.
because the negative one sticks with you.
Exactly. So you had shitty games before that, and then you start thinking that all of them are shitty as the players you just faced.
Yeah, because your mood's tempered, basically.
Yeah.
It
And
just sucks.
yeah, and actually, as the lightning says, killer is really stressful because even when you think you had a good start, then you see like three generators popping at the same time, and you're like, okay, so I did my best, but it was still worthless, and you are stressed
Yeah,
because you don't know what to do.
the game wording that was to be something I would fix because the way the game tells you you didn't succeed is really harsh, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, with survivors, like you died and there's no displeasement. You know, but with
Yeah, I agree.
killer, there's a psychological thing to it because with killer they're like, we're displeased with you, we're not happy with you, and
Yeah.
hearing that from a game. I'll give you an example after this. That's just to wrap up a bit. Hearing that from a game, it makes you feel frustrated and feel like, oh my god, I didn't do enough. I displeased it. I need to please it next time. And then you feel like more and more, and you build that up, and then it's just not nice because you have this kind of sense of frustration and you don't know where it comes from, and that's where your competitive side comes out because you're like, no, I need to prove it that I can please it or I can do better. That happened. They used to happen with Animal Crossing as well. I don't know if you guys know though. There used to be a character called Mr. Resetti. Do you know
I heard
that?
something about that.
Do you know him or not? It was like a mole. It was like
Mm.
a mole worker, work under the earth. So what happened to with him? If you, for example, if your 3DS died in the middle of the game because the 3DS doesn't have automatic save like the Switch, and the next time you turn off Animal Crossing, he would scream at you, literally caps lock scream at you and be like, you are nothing. Why are you doing this? You are the problem, not the solution and stuff like that. And that was actually that's bullying for me from a game. I'm so happy it's not on New Horizons. That means Nintendo listened to their community, you know?
Yeah.
It was crazy. Like, imagine I was 27 when I played that game. So I was okay. I was like, fuck off, Mr. Rossetti, that's me. I didn't care. But can you imagine a kid of, let's say, 8 years old playing the game and being told that they are nothing and they are not worth the game? Can you imagine
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
frustration and how they feel after, and how would they assimilate failure from then on when it's not their fault? They didn't control it. Their switch, their 3DS died. It happens.
Yes.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine how you would feel?
Yeah, I can imagine. And in a certain sense, it's also probably why the Dark Souls series was successful instead. That when you die, you're not so insulted in a certain sense by the game. It just says, okay, you died, but you still want to go on because you don't feel like the game actually made you feel like shit. And at the same time,
Well,
when you win, you feel like you achieved
you're
an
very
amazing
good.
goal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree to disagree. I disagree in one because the Dark Souls series appeals to the people who are highly competitive. You know,
yeah.
that mole would piss me off. Yeah, exactly. It's the same with me. Um, and the Dark Souls series is interesting, but it's for people who are competitive. If you're just a person who likes to play video games just for pure enjoyment, not saying that you don't have enjoyment for
Mhm.
being competitive, but imagine you're just playing a game for just enjoyment, just to enjoy the experience. Dark Souls is really cool, artwork wise, music wise. It's a beautiful game. I can play it because I'm bad at you know
Mhm.
at roguelikes. I'm really bad at those kind of games. But I really like, my favorite is actually Bloodborne in terms of visual style. And I actually reached almost to the end with Bloodborne, but I played so much and I was frustrated. And to be honest, that was the last time I played a game like that, and I thought I never want to feel like this ever again because it's
Yeah,
not nice. Because you don't want to feel you have free time. What are you gonna do? Torture yourself? It's crazy. Unless you're very good at that kind of games, of course it's different. But if you're not good, if you're just a casual player, you play games just for fun, and you're not super competitive with yourself, um, it's not an easy game to get into or a franchise. However, with Animal Crossing, you can see the game is casual as it can get, and then you have someone telling you you don't do well enough, you don't deserve, or whatever. Nah, that's not okay.
yeah.
And that's when I thought it's just I didn't like that character at all. I actually wrote a massive email to Nintendo at the time explaining that for me he didn't say they did anything bad because I'm 27, but can you imagine if my nephew plays Animal Crossing and you leave? And kids, they don't think about charging stuff. Can you
Mhm.
imagine if they forget to charge their console, they want to play the game, first experience they have a mole, an ugly mole screaming at them on the screen?
It
That's
is.
actually traumatizing. I'm sorry. It is traumatizing having a game telling you off and in caps lock, like screaming at you. I'm like, exactly.
Yeah.
Duda.
It sounds like a really terrible image, and I imagine in this moment this little kid with a console in his hand or her hand, looking at this mole screaming at him or her, and then starting crying and launching the console from the window, stuff like that.
You're laughing, but it has happened. And it's not funny.
No, no, I can imagine it, but
You know,
I know.
it's funny, but it's funny the idea, the thought of it, but it's a reality actually. And when you
Yeah,
feel like a kid is being bullied by a game, that's not a place that you want to be completely at. I don't know.
especially in a game
And
like
it
that.
doesn't feel like a safe place. Like,
Exactly.
Especially in a game like that.
Especially in a game that's so chill.
It was something actually common in 90s era, if you remember. For example, all the Crash Bandicoot games where you had when you lost all the leaves, you had what did you do? Why?
Posted a link.
Yeah,
Sorry.
unfortunately, even if Nightbot looks
It's
like
okay.
a
It's okay.
bitch, I noticed that we
But yeah,
need
sorry.
this guy during these days. I
It's okay. It's okay.
I gave you the permit. I don't know if you had the same problem, but a lot of bots during these days are trying to spam links in Twitch channels. So I always hated this thing uh, by Nightbot, but actually now I understand why this is a thing. Or
Okay.
oh my god, it's so ugly. Sorry.
He is very. That's Rossetti, by the way.
coming
But
back. Mhm. If you want, I can
no,
show
Oh
it.
my god, that's so harsh.
If you
yeah, but no, that was me who put
Oh, okay,
the
okay. I
text.
thought,
Is that
yeah.
meme of people who say you did not only
Jesus.
cheat the game, you cheated yourself?
I think
That was me.
we can see it.
Oh
Give
my
me a
god.
second. Yeah, this is Mr. Rossetti. Look how nice is him.
Wait, I can
Oh
show
my
you.
god.
Uh, let me see.
But this was actually a real sentence of this guy.
Hmm.
You cheated not
No,
only
no,
the
no,
game but
no. That was
yourself.
me. That was me.
Okay.
I made that meme.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are shaming.
Fast travelers. Time
Yeah,
travelers, sorry.
yeah. I can show you an image. Let me see. Open link in new tab. Let me see if this is an image. Wait. I want to show you one that's really good. There's one that Mark actually sent me as well that he said, "You're the disease that spread on the." It's really bad.
Wish he was the one to be put in Smash instead of Isabel so I could beat him up.
Oh my God. Uh, can someone permit me again? I'll post you
Yeah,
another one.
yeah. Give you the permit. Also, I was saying that was a kind of typical stuff from games during the 90s. For
Hmm.
example, I remember the Crash Bandicoot games where
Oh,
you lost all the leaves and then you had the ugly face of Cortex saying you stuff at the screen, and it was actually a bit scary for a little kid, you know?
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, as an adult, you look at them like, fuck off. That's the first thing you do. But as a child, you're like, I don't want to play this game. I'm gonna have a guy screaming at me. But the thing is, even the people who don't, even the kids that don't react to it, eventually they'll talk to people like that because they don't, because they were taught that they can talk like that. You know?
Yeah, I've been trying to get that fish for days now. Ah, okay, they are speaking with each other.
So yeah. Let me
Yeah.
see.
Also, remember, do you remember when Ubisoft launched a sort of reboot of the Prince of Persia,
Mm.
where there was no game over, and they explained that. Also, the same Nintendo chose to do the same thing with Super Mario Odyssey, if you remember. Like, there's no game
Mm.
over because they don't want that the player feels like he's punished, but they can still enjoy their game experience. Actually, you spoke about something that for game designer is becoming more important every time
Mm-mm.
because they want to avoid when they can game over the game over stuff to not make the player feel like they failed someone.
Yeah, exactly. Because the thing is to tell that to tell to a player, oh, you did bad on the game. They make you feel bad. I mean, you didn't do bad. You played the game. You're playing the game. That's already really nice. To be fair, have fun. It doesn't matter. It's not a
Yeah.
fighting game. It's not like you can't be competitive on Animal Crossing. I mean, you can. You can just tell like Laura and Paige and be like, "Hey guys, I got a sturgeon fish today without a bait." Hey, but it doesn't matter. I'll be happy when they get it too. You know.
Yeah. Or 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 you can try to bully one of your villager. Uh,
How dare you delete?
I, okay, I don't know if you're following. I want to give a shout out to everyone here.
Oh, Lauren?
Yeah,
Oh, Lauren is funny.
I
Yeah,
was going
Lauren
to
is.
speak about Lauren
Did you see
stuff.
what I did as well? Too late. I already dared. Sorry. Yeah, Lauren.
Follow all these
Lauren had a
amazing
really
guys.
incredible twist on this game. She made it really funny. She has
Uh,
a villager she doesn't like, and she's like, "Get out of here" and stuff. So she keeps bullying that
Canberra.
villager, like the funny. Oh my god, it's so funny.
She closed her in a sort of prison with all the fences around the house.
Yeah, like the wired fences. It's really funny. I like
Yeah,
that too.
and like you said, um, she's writing her story in the game, so even if it's a sort of comedy or drama, as we can see it, she's writing her own story. It's something original that only she's living with the game.
It's really good. I like how when I replied to her, be like, wait, um, it's really funny. I'll post the clip. Can I post the tweet? S'il vous plaît.
Do you need another permit?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
No user.
I'm a genius.
This is the user. Okay, so
Now we have the user.
I have the actual amiibo card of Canberra. So what I'm tempted to do is invite him to my island, and when Lauren comes to visit, be like, "Look, this is my best villager." I'm
I
kind of tempted to do that, but I don't know.
I think she's a female or not?
I,
Canberra, I don't
I
remember.
actually don't know. Yeah, I think it's true. Yeah. It's really funny.
I'm out for a bit if you need me, just try to find.
It's really funny.
She looks
That's
scary though.
that's the amiibo card. I have it here, right in my book. I don't have fauna though. I thought I had fauna, and I really need fauna. So if anyone has a fauna, just give me. But
I
yeah, I'm tempted to put Canberra in my island and be like, Lauren, can you come visit? And be like, I have a special guest to show you. Wait,
you
why not?
uh,
Wait, why not? She's a koala, cute koala.
I wouldn't want in my town either. Everyone hates that program. Well, this is my favorite villager. Odie.
Oh,
She's really cute. She's like a queen, so she's like me, and she shares
I'll
a lot
say.
of stuff every day with me. She's really
Yeah.
kind.
I have Cube recently in my island. I didn't know about him, and I really like him. Actually, super silly. Do you want to see a clip? Well, I'll give it to you
Yes.
the link, and you play if you want. But he's super cute. Because he's very derpy. Let me just show you. Coffee link. I'll post it to you. I'll keep PM you. Oh,
Okay.
thank you. Look at that. Look at that video. That video
Uh,
is that's live.
I have to show you Odin game. You will love her.
Mm, yeah. I don't like foxes that much. Sorry. No offense.
No, it's a sort of wolf, not a fox.
Look. Look how cute it is. It's called Cube because of the GameCube. We used to have a t-shirt of the GameCube. Look at that. He's so cute. Wait. I keep talking to him. That's a mood, right? Cake is all what spring is about. It's a mood. He's so silly. What the hell? That's the kind of villager I like. It's so silly. But yeah, if you guys don't know Fauna, I like Fauna a lot. Fauna is really cute. You know?
Yeah.
Um, Let me just search actually if I have the wiki. But you can show if you want. I
The,
like
the,
Fauna because she's really sweet. And she's really nice.
mhm.
She's a
No,
deer.
no, I have a really nice villager in my house. In my island. For example, I have this girl too, Pashmina, and
Mm.
she has this sassy look, but she's really cute. She sings almost every day with another guy. I don't remember the name, but it's a sort of octopus. Every day they are like in the plaza singing together, and they are really cute.
Oh yeah. I had Sydney on my previous save and she was really cute too.
And
I
then,
thought I had Fauna with the card. Apparently I don't. Well, probably
then
I
I
put
have
it like in a
Air,
special place and I lost.
I have Nana, this monkey,
Nana. Oh.
and this guy obsessed with Jim, Antonio. Look at him.
I
He's
like
obsessed with
it's
Jim.
the anteater,
Yes.
right? Yeah, he's an anteater.
They are really, really, really cute.
Ooh.
Jib. Oh, okay. If I add an extra, it will be yours, Denise. She's from
Oh
the first
yeah.
series of cards. Okay.
Yeah, I had it. I'm pretty sure I lost it because I probably put it in a special place and then end up losing it because she's my favorite, you know? When I moved
No.
to Canada, I lost a lot of things that I don't know where they are. Maybe they're in a box, somewhere.
We need a total version of a villager.
Oh yeah, they don't have red pandas, which sucks.
Yeah,
The game sucks because of that. But apart from
we need total.
that, I don't know. They have raccoons, which is the same family. You know.
Yeah.
No, it's
Also,
okay, Laura. Don't worry.
wait, I want to show that pic I showed you today.
Luna, you getting Animal Crossing? Not
I
talking much.
know, I don't even have a Switch. I
Ah,
was
you're
so
changing
sad.
that.
Like, I don't know if you like. Do you guys know that girl called I with Liv in on Twitter? She has like a half her hair blue and red.
No.
She messaged me and she was like, "Oh, add me," and she sent me her ID on Animal Crossing, and I was like, "I don't have it." Like, I was fucking sad because like I really want it. Like seeing all the hype and everything, like that really makes me want to play it. But sadly, I don't have a Switch and I don't have anything that is like Nintendo apart from the Nintendo GameCube that I have on my oh, how do you call it? Um, you know, that's like a box where you put all your old stuffs.
Yeah,
Yeah, like the yeah,
in your
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I have that, and I have the Nintendo 64, and that's it. I don't have anything else. So I'm kind of like, okay, I'm gonna stay on my PC and look at people playing Animal Crossing, because you know.
she's a PC Master Race player.
Mm,
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
Wait a
But
second.
yeah, I would like if I had the money to afford it, I would buy it. But I can't right now, so yeah.
No,
I watch people doing it.
it's so good though. The game. It's like we were saying. It came at the best time ever. Oh, I saw that. That's cute.
I think
That
these
was really
guys
cute.
did the same thing that Lauren did with the Antres tune in the island.
Yeah, they
I,
did.
I'm trying to open this tweet, but okay, finally.
I made a clip of Lauren when she did it. It's really good.
It's really cute. It's even creepier than the real version. So, yeah, before switching to the other topic, I wanted to speak about some stories about we spoke about real life friends and
Hmm.
stuff like that related to Animal Crossing, but actually considering the situation that's spreading in the world because of coronavirus, there's the story of two guys, two person that had to have a wedding, but because of social distancing, they couldn't celebrate it, and they chose to celebrate it in Animal Crossing. So, how this game is so powerful to make people feel together, feel related together, sharing in some important moments, even if we are kind of forced at staying at home. I don't know if you had similar experiences with the game before, Denise. Consider you have a really long story with this brand.
It's mainly like hanging out with friends. I don't have like that deep story. Um, with the even if the game came out in a situation where we don't have what's going on, I would still have the same kind of connection to it because I'm connecting to a lot of friends on the UK that I haven't seen in years. You know,
Hmm.
and we reconnected. You know, a friend of mine called Bunny. She started playing the game, and she's like, "Okay, Denise, that you play this game too?" She just messaged me, and I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And then we start playing together, and we haven't talked in years, but it doesn't matter,
Yeah,
because this game brings you back to the memories of those people. It connects you to those memories. Stories I have are very personal, to be fair, but mainly the fact that people helped me move from my old Switch to the new one, that was really wholesome. That was really nice. And when I moved to London, I had a 3DS. I remember the Monster Hunter edition, all black. It was really cool. Then the Animal Crossing came out, And then I decided I was very lonely and I didn't have many friends in London. So I decided to start going to this gaming cafe, just playing Animal Crossing in there. And I met two of my best friends there because of that and because of Animal Crossing. So,
Nice.
you know, so that's the kind of relationship you can get from it. You can find people that have a common ground, which is this game, you know?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, this game it's something more than a normal game, you know. It's a sort of really, we can say. Do you remember Abo and this kind of social games? So I will say a similar experience, but more chill because
Which one?
there was a period where a lot of social games like Abo or Social Life or Second Life, I don't remember the name of that game.
I
So
never played like games like that actually. Funny
yeah,
enough.
yeah, but actually Animal Crossing is doing something like that. It helps people to relate to each other. I even saw because Nintendo actually with this version of the game they made possible the local play, if I'm not wrong.
Mm.
And I saw someone in my Facebook home that was happy because they shared a long afternoon together with their daughter, and it was like this was like my best moment in a video game ever. And he's like a video game journalist since the beginning of video games, more or less. So you can imagine
Mm.
how is it for him. So we dedicated a really huge page to Animal Crossing, even more than expected,
Mm.
because actually Denise tried to tell me, look, that it's a really huge game, it's a really huge topic, it will need a lot of time, and she was right as usual. She's never wrong about anything.
That's not true. That's not true.
More or less.